Alright, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to be doing an entire gear showcase of everything I'm going to be using on K2, the world's second highest mountain, which all totals out to be around $15,000. I'm just going to be going into what each thing is, how we're going to be actually using it on the mountain, and also how much each thing costs. We're going to be working our way up from the least expensive thing all the way up to the most expensive thing, such as, well, I don't know if it's the most expensive, but this outfit certainly is pretty expensive. So before I die of heat exhaustion in this thing, intro's over. We're just going to jump right into it. This is Bob right here, just a mysterious man now standing behind me. But anyways, yeah. So we're going to start off with the cheapest thing here. And that's just going to be your average Nalgene. Nalgene water bottles, just the classic. I think you can get them for like $10 at REI. We'll usually be carrying 2 of these with us. Regardless of what day it is, if you're moving up from Camp 1 to Camp 2, or if you're going for the summits. Alrighty, next up, I've never actually used this little orange pack before, but if you're not sure what this is a tactical bivy. You don't want to ever use one of these, and I hope I never have to. But basically inside this small orange pack, there is it's like a space blanket, I think that's what it's called. And basically, if you get stuck on the mountain in a storm and you can't get down, you're going to want to whip out one of these bad boys and just hope you don't freeze to death. All right, so next up, we're going to be at about $30 in this piece of equipment, and it is a figure 8. This is a rappel device. It's like a cool little golden figure 8, small hole on the top and then big hole on the bottom. But essentially, you can go down a mountain with this. Usually in the case if there's fixed lines, these are used. So in a lot of Himalayan climbing expeditions, you'll see Sherpas pretty much always using these. I'm going to have this as a backup because if you don't have a backup rappel device and you lose your main one, you are screwed. Next up, which you can get for about $40, is just a Black Diamond ATC rappel device. Basically does the same thing as the figure 8s, but you can put the rope through. And because of the teeth inside of this ATC, you can actually slow down your descent down a rope because this device is biting into it. Hard to explain, but if you use this, you can go down vertical rope and not die. Okay, but moving away from the gear for a second, we're going to start getting into some like clothing and stuff like that. I mean, we'll go back to the gear, but you don't even... Some of this stuff is so expensive, guys. This is the most expensive sport in the world. I'm in crippling debt. But anyways, we got some liners here. These are some Hestra liners. They're about $40. This is like my go-to pair. I think they're called the windshield liners. All right, so the next piece of gear we're going to be going into is perhaps one of the most important on the entire mountain. You cannot get up without this. It's around $50 on its own. This is the Petzl Dual Connect Adjust. You have your harness. We're gonna jump up a bit of money here. This is about $100. It is the Petzl Altitude harness. It is very lightweight, perfect for a high altitude expedition. So essentially, when you attach this Dual Connect Adjust to your harness, it's attached to you. So this strand is attached to me, this strand is attached to me. So if I have these carabiners and I clip them to something like a rope, such as the fixed lines that go up the entirety of K2. If I were to fall, these would support me, these would catch me as I fall onto the rope. So that way you don't die. All right, so guys, I may be a tourist, but I don't leave my poop on the mountain. Everybody accuses me of this in the comments. I'm like, what the heck's going on, guys? But a lot of people do ask, how do you get the poop down the mountain? Well, I'd say my entire toiletries kit is around $50, wipes. You're gonna bring toilet paper, but the most important thing is these wag bags. They're these big blue bags that you like wrap over your buttocks essentially, and you just use the John into it. And then you bring it down the mountain with you. It gets really smelly, but that's just the game up there. Can't be leaving your waste. Alrighty, so moving once again to the gear portion. So like I was saying, clothing, gear, very expensive, but also the sleeping equipment gets really expensive as well because you need to be investing into good sleep on these mountains so you can acclimatize and recover in the night. So this is a Thermarest right here. Looks like I took a giant bite out of it. Maybe I did, but boy, it's just this big, I don't know what material it's made out of, but it's some sort of insulation sheet. And basically you put this beneath you, so it's separating you from the snow and it's below the tent, but the snow beneath your tent and your body, it's just going to insulate your body heat. So all of your heat isn't just going into the snow. All right, so most important thing, we need to have these for mom. If mom sees us not wearing these, it's bad news, fellas. We got our helmets. I don't need to explain the use of a helmet any further. But yeah, now we're going to be moving up into triple digits. We're still going to have quadruple digits. Don't worry, fellas and ladies. But anyways, this little piece, $100 worth of slings, hollow blocks, just that type of stuff. Basically like these climbing accessory gear pieces. I don't know what you'd categorize them all as, but I'm just grouping them together. Now in a normal climbing expedition where you're entirely self-sufficient, maybe you're building the route on your own, you would have much more of all of this. But because of K2 being completely fixed, you really don't need stuff like that to build anchors or to do any of that. Alrighty, well, now my boot is going to go very flaccid because I'm taking out this ice axe that was holding it up. Oh, it's staying. Alrighty. But this right here is the Black Diamond Raven ice axe. Like I've just said, if there weren't fixed lines on K2, you would be using much different gear, possibly definitely some technical ice axes, but really this is just another safety precaution. Let's say if the ropes were to come undone or they were to get cut by a serac or something and you actually needed to descend the mountain, you would need some sort of ice axe, such as this, where you could either rest or poke it into a really steep slope to descend. The last piece of gear that's kind of going to be going onto your harness and you're going to be using to climb is your Jumar or Ascender, an extremely, extremely valuable piece of equipment. So I can put footage of this on screen, but essentially the purpose of a Jumar or Ascender is only really to go up. Similar to the ATC, it has teeth on it that bite into the rope. So you would put the rope through the device, clip it in, and basically you can move it up, but you're not going to be able to move it down the rope. So every time you move it up, you're a little bit more up on the mountain because it's attached to you. So if you were to lean back, it would stay. So you could even rest using these things. All right, so next up, I'm stoked about this one. If you guys have been watching, you know these are my all-time favorite approach in trekking shoes. We have for like $130 the La Sportiva TX4s. As you all know, essentially, yeah, we're going to be climbing K2, but you have to trek to base camp, which takes 7 days, maybe. So you have to walk pretty far. You're not going to be walking in these freaking boots right here that we'll get into soon. Okay, so I'm not really sure how these are only $130, and it's kind of concerning that they're cheaper than a lighter pair of gloves that I have. But these are my biggest gloves. Yeah, $130. They're the Black Diamond Mercury mitts, and they're absolutely huge, and they're really warm. And I've used them on Everest Summit Day. I've used them on Denali Summit Day, Aconcagua Summit Day. Every summit day I've used these things. All right, so back to sleep. This is the Neo Air Thermarest, and it is basically an inflatable sleeping pad. They're very narrow. They're just a sleeping pad, very lightweight. You can bring onto the mountain and sleep on it. Let's be real. I've had some rough nights on these things, but it's just the game, man. It's just, you're not going to get any luxurious sleeping up there. So one thing you got to invest into when you're going on any big trip like this is your food and the snacks that you're eating, because it really does affect how you're going to feel, how you're going to perform, especially in these crazy environments. So come on, you fellas know me. We're going chomps all the way. They're beef sticks. They're grass-fed beef sticks, 0 sugar, 10 grams of good high-quality protein, which is so important. Because, of course, there's other meat sticks out there and there's other places to get your protein from, but really none of it is high quality and it is actually like crap. I feel like I've had some of those meat sticks and they smell so bad. I feel awful after eating them. But Chomps is an absolute game changer in the space. They have multiple different flavors that you can try out. They have the jalapeno. I personally like the original the most. And they just released a smoky barbecue flavor. I really recommend it, whatever you're doing. Going on a hike, traveling, anytime where you're not getting these normal meals in, you gotta get that protein in somehow, and like Chomps are such a great way of doing it. Yeah, if you wanna find more details on Chomps, or even get yourself some, see where they are near you, you can go to chomps.com/Ryan Mitchell. I'll also put the link in the description. You can check that out. Let me know what flavors y'all like in the comments. But yeah, anyways, thank you Chomps for sponsoring the video. Definitely gonna be bringing a ton of these onto K2. And if you don't believe me, just wait, fellas. You're gonna see a whole bag of these. So it's getting interesting now. We're in the 200s, and we're actually gonna get into the crampons, which are a very fun piece of equipment. Hopefully I don't poke myself, fellas. But these bad boys are the Black Diamond Sabertooths. If you're not sure what a crampon is, and no, I'm not saying it with a T. There's always that jokester in the comments who's like, bro, did he say tampon? No. But essentially, you're gonna have your boot, such as the Olympus Mons here, and you're going to attach these to the bottom of it. And there's basically these little spiky boys that stick into ice, snow, whatever. If you didn't have these, you wouldn't make it 2 feet up the mountain. All right, so I'm not gonna go into it because I really don't wanna show you guys my underwear and all that type of stuff. But I'm just gonna categorize. I probably have like $200 of merino wool, leggings, socks, underwear. You wanna go with merino wool because it dries, it doesn't mold. You might not change out of these clothes for like 10 days. So you gotta have some underwear that won't smell awful. They will end up smelling, but. And what's also $200 are these pants. Now fellas, these are soft shell pants, a very versatile piece of equipment. Why am I standing like this? They keep me warm. I've worn them on Aconcagua. Good stuff. I just walked over here, bruv. And now I got this stuff. Okay, so now we're getting into like the gajillionaire clothing, my most expensive fits. So these are $200. I'm not gonna lie, I've never even worn these because I get like warm legs. I got some thick legs, fellas. We got some tree trunks, a lot of blood flow there, so I don't really get colds pants that much, which is why I always just wear these. And then continuing with the pants, geez, triple pants. These are hard shell pants by Hamali. You'll wear these if it's windy and these aren't really doing enough, but I still don't end up wearing these a lot. So $200 once again, but we have this bad boy. This is just the Osprey Mutant. It's a 38-liter pack. Just like I said with the trekking shoes, we're gonna need a lighter pack on the way in. I'll show you my big pack soon, but you need something lighter on the way in. So you don't overexert yourself. You're not going to be carrying that much gear because a lot of the stuff is portered to base camp. All right, so I mentioned earlier, or I don't know if I did, I kind of glossed over a lot of stuff that's boring, but this is basically what's in this sack. It's probably around like $200 worth of stuff, maybe even like $400. You know what, let's just say $400 because my glasses are in here. Sunscreen, lip balm, hand warmers, personal med kit, etc. Probably like $400 worth of stuff in here. Yeah, I'm just not gonna show you guys hand warmers. Ain't nobody wanna see that. Get that out of here. We wanna see the Olympus Mons. So we got this little Garmin InReach Mini. So when my wife needs a text from me to make sure I'm okay, I can send her a little message. But basically the Garmin InReach is just a little satellite device where it can give your location to people, you can send messages to them. There's no Wi-Fi on K2. Everest, base camp, there's good Wi-Fi there. K2 is pretty freaking raw. There's no Wi-Fi on the way in. You're sleeping in like shacks. So one of these is gonna come in handy. So I can text my mom. Love my mom. Can't be neglecting her there. Oh god. Okay, now we're just jumping up by 100. So that was $300. Now we're going to $400. And it is my backpack. Not gonna lie, I hate this thing. No hate to Gregory. Don't have a problem with their brand. But this is the Denali 100, and it looks a little beta right now, but this thing fills up and it gets absolutely huge. It's an 100-liter pack, and I'm going to be using it on the actual mountain of K2, not the trek in. This thing could carry probably like 120 pounds before it starts to degrade. I'm not really sure, something like that, but you can fit a lot into this thing. Reason I don't like it is just it's not comfortable around my hips. I don't know, I just have wide hips. All right. Back to the clothes, fellas. Back to the clothes, bruv. So we're gonna be back on the Hamali grind here. So this is my usual jacket I wear. You guys see me wearing this in the videos all the time. It's the Men's Accelerator Hamali jacket, but it's just like a really lightweight, slick looking puffer jacket. $330 right there. This one is $450. Also by Hamali, this is the Monsoon hard shell jackets. And then, come on now, we're ranking up. Level 4 jacket here. This is their just big puffer jackets. It's very, very thick. What is this, 850 fill, something like that? It's just super warm, $500. That thing saves your life though. If you're taking a break on summit day, you need to sit down for a second on any climb, I'm always throwing that thing on, so it's good to have for a backup. What is this? These like leggings? Screw it. REI Long Johns, $100. All right, we're at $500, and I've just realized I've completely missed a couple things, but these are the Black Diamond guide gloves. Another thing I completely glossed over were these goggles. I'm gonna say these are like $300. In a real snowstorm, you're gonna want these for sure, so you don't go snow blind. Dang, these are fresh snow. Dang. We're in the 500s, and I have this watch. I've been gatekeeping this so much, and I at least get 3 like comments, requests a day asking me what watch I use, and I'm finally gonna come out. It is the Garmin Fenix 7 Sapphire Solar. I think I got it for like $500, but it's a really good watch. Tracks your altitude, your heart rate, so you get a good feel of where you're at on the climb. See how far you are away from a camp. Kind of can like think about how fast you should be going. Really good tool. Get this out of here. Why are you here? Little stuff sack, $5. Holy smokes, we're almost in 4 figures. All right. Bam. Now I mentioned way earlier that investing in your sleep is super important. So you'll actually see we have 2 sleeping bags here. And this one I'll get into in a second is way too heavy to be wearing on the trek or sleeping in on the trek into base camp or even at base camp. You're gonna need something a bit lighter. That's why we got the, this is $850, but it's a really nice 0 degree bag. Western Mountaineer in Kodiak. Really, really good sleeping bag, $850. We'll be wearing that, or I don't know why I keep saying wearing, using that up to base camp and at base camp. You know what, I might as well go into this now too. Oh, I'm gonna have to take this out. The -40 bag. So sleeping bags ratings, I'm pretty sure means that the bag would freeze at that temperature. So it's made out of the same stuff as like the puffy jackets, down feather. So if it was -40 degrees and this John was just getting hit by a storm, it would freeze. Bam. Can you believe that? All that fit in just a little stuff sack. I'll be wearing this thing on the mountain before summit day. I said wearing again. What is wrong with me? Sleeping in this thing before summit day and everything. So another question I get when people are asking me about my gear is my camera equipment. So I take an extra it's probably like 5 pounds total of stuff. Now I could bring my DSLR, my drone, but I like to keep it simple with the GoPros because I'd rather feel fit, have energy, and have the accessibility of GoPros to be able to film my content. So I literally fit everything into this small little case here. But essentially all I'm running is 2 GoPro 13s, and then I have 6 extra batteries, so 8 total. And then I'll have a power bank, just a small one, and realize this could probably last me 10 days if I'm very conservative with what I'm recording. But worst comes to worst, let's say if I do for some reason run out of energy, we'll have the Goal Zero Nomad 20, which is a solar panel. And surprisingly, these work really good, especially if you're in a snowy environment and the sun's actually out, because the sun reflects off of the snow, it hits the solar panel, and whatever you're doing, I think I can get my phone charged fully in like an hour of consistent sunlight. So yeah, all of that gear, camera equipment, I think adds up to around $1,300. All right, well, we only have 2 more very expensive things on the table. We got the Olympus Mons. This is an 8,000 meter boot, so you wouldn't wear this. I mean, some people wear them on like Aconcagua, but like really, if you're going above like 7,500 meters or a really cold place like Denali, you're gonna want to be wearing something like the Olympus Mons, or there's some other alternatives by Scarpa. These are $1,300. Fellas. I could just pull up in these to like a party and everybody will know that my fit is this strong. Bros. They keep my feet really warm. And actually in these, I haven't had a lot of cold feet problems at all. Like ever Summit Day Denali, I really like this boot. They're pretty comfortable as well. I'll be repping these all the way from base camp to the summit. All right, am I gonna get changed into it? I might as well. Second most expensive piece of gear here. And there you go. You're wearing a $2,000 jacket. $2,000 Summit suit by Hamali. Honestly, I really like this thing. There's a lot of other Summit suits, like Mountain Hardwear makes a lot, North Face has some, but I personally like this one, first of all, for the color. I think it looks pretty sick. It's also lighter than some of the other ones, which I'm not sure if that means warmer or colder. Personally, besides for my like fingers and toes, I'm a pretty warm guy. I get warm really easily, and I need something that has like some good breathability. It has zippers all on it that you can open up. People be like, bruh, how do you go to the bathroom though? Well, I might as well showcase that. So I think there's a zipper there. This is mad sus. See, it's not easy. Like, you don't want to be going to the bathroom up there at all. It's not a good time. You basically just unzip that guy and then wag bag it and hope you don't get any in your suit. All right, so I'm not sure what value we're at right now, but we have our final product or piece of gear here. Extremely, extremely expensive. That's because it's invaluable. It is trash bags. I think I've talked about this in a previous video. Well, I have, but I'm climbing with Garrett Madison, and he has a foundation that every donation he gets will go to mountain pickups, mountain cleanups. We're not going to be using plastic bags like this. I just did this for the meme. But every donation that's made to the Madison Mountaineering Foundation, I'm putting the link in the description so you can go donate to it. I would appreciate it so much, but every single dollar that goes to it will go to picking up trash on these mountains, and we're going to be using that money for K2 when we're out there. So we're going to be picking up trash from base camp and ideally some of the higher camps as well if we're able to. We're going to be grinding to get trash picked up off of K2. And of course, it all goes into the local economy as well. And those people are just so amazing, so nice, and it's great to have a way to give back to the people there and also just clean up the mountains. So that's going to do it for the gear list. We leave for K2 in about a month. I'm going to get out of this thing because I am dying. I am in crippling debt. That's all right, because what matters is the Instagram photo of the summits. Let's go, baby. Nah, just kidding. Well, thank you all for watching. See ya.